The boys from Dirtbikistan are back, servicing a shock that probably shouldn't be serviced. So this is a how not to video. Remember, avoid all these tips we give you and just look at this shock. Those threads look pretty crafty. So we're gonna start by trying to back off the jam nut, and it's just not working. Tappity tap, 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 it's getting harder. It feels like it's stuck. So what you wanna do is stop. Like you're driving a 4x4 through a mud puddle and you feel like it's starting to sink in. Well, don't keep spinning the wheels. And what you're gonna wanna do is go back the other way. Try and tighten her up, clean things up a bit, and maybe it'll come off. But it's not coming off because there's something jammed in the threads. And I know you're thinking what I'm thinking. It's that high quality late 80s aluminum. What could go wrong, right? And we get the pliers out and it's spinning after we clean it up. Yeah, it's gonna work out. Things are going great. And then, oh, it's getting harder. Oh no, that didn't feel good. That's not feeling any better. Maybe? No, there it is, it stopped. Bring in the liquid wrench, right? Let's go back the other way. Oh, so you know there's aluminum and it's just come apart. But lucky for us, the spring preload adjuster turns just fine. Now that's what you should be having. So once you break that jam nut loose, that preload adjuster should be turning just like that. Oh, so easy. Well, that jam nut, it's got something coming. So we're gonna give ourselves a little bit of room here. And oh, look at those threads. So, man, nothing's gonna go past them. We'll get the thread file out, take our time, work that thread file in the grooves, clear those threads opening because nothing's gonna turn past that traffic jam, right? So after some time with the thread file, oh, that looks better. I still see a little bit in the way, but way better. Now, that jam nut, you're gonna get what's coming to you. So we'll put a slice right down there, almost through, but not quite. And then we take our chisel, we tell it what we think about it, right? Let's give it a little whack. Once that thing's cracked, oh yeah, look at that. Comes off real easy. Look at those threads. Man, it's a good thing we don't need all of them, and hopefully, you know, we don't need our preload adjuster there. And what we'll have to do is, if we need a preload adjuster there, we're gonna have to, I don't know, eat some more ice cream and pack on some pounds, so we need more spring preload. But backing that spring preload adjuster all the way off now. Things are looking good. And we get it loosened up here, and we're able to pull it apart. Now this is interesting. This is actually put together upside down. So that piece that I'm sliding out right there, which is dished down, should have been in the other way. So I know somebody's been in this shock, and they didn't know what they were doing. Well, I know what you're saying. You don't know what you're doing and you're in that shock. Well, I know more than the last guy who took it apart, right? So we'll at least get that part put back together right and maybe be able to set our sag. And I know what you're thinking, right? That's great if your preload adjuster works, but what if neither one of them spins? That's right, this is Dirtbikistan, so what would it be if we weren't getting out an automotive spring compressor and going full send on that, doing something sketchy? So here we are, spring compressor, squeeze our spring, remove that cup at the top just like we did when we had taken all the preload off of the spring, but now we got a sketchy spring compressor holding the spring down for us. And nothing's better than giving a tap on the top while you got a spring compressor, holding the spring in, and something that's, you know, probably shouldn't have been done. And I know what you're thinking. Can we trust these guys with any of the information they're giving us? And I think you already know the answer. No, don't trust us at all, right? This is a how not to video. So we get that spring compressor off, pull our spring off. Now we're ready to do a little shock disassembly. Look at that shock. Ooh, it's still got a nitrogen charge because it's coming back up. I bet it's got all the oil. Well, we got that spring off, so one more time I thought I'd show you how to remove the spring preload adjuster in the jam nut. Almost through. Get our chisel out. Tap, tap. One on the preload adjuster, one on the jam nut. Oh, and they're spinning now. Here's the first shock we took apart, and take a look at this. Oh, there's no dampening at the very end of that, and it doesn't extend all the way. Usually a sign that you've lost all your nitrogen. So we'll air this one up and take a look and see what happens. So I know, no, this is not nitrogen, but we're going to take it apart. We're just verifying our thought that we were low on nitrogen. Press that one. Oh, problem solved, right? Maybe we should just put the spring back on and put it together. We're going to pull the compression adjuster out. What you just saw there was a Harbor Freight socket and 3 minutes with a cutoff wheel to make this special tool that they want to try and charge you $30 for. So that's a 19mm socket, and you just cut the walls out, and now the good folks at KYB who put this special compression adjuster on without a hex on it, and they were thinking like, let's keep these yahoos out of this shock from taking it apart. Well, they didn't know we had access to cutoff tools. So we pull the compression adjuster out after we have pulled the valve core out and released the nitrogen. But there's still a little pressure in the shock. There it is. I like to drain all the oil into a clean container so I can take a look at what came out of the shock and how much came out of the shock, and it gives me an idea of what kind of damage I'm looking for inside. We're going to press down on the bladder. We got one C-clip in here to remove. Our favorite Harbor Freight little screwdriver. Work that clip out. And there's a special tool to pull this up, or a blowgun. Get our bladder out and inspect that. And next we're going to remove the shock shaft and seal head. So we got to tap this cap up, and I get the punch, work it back and forth side to side. Caps out. Look at that junk in there. So now a zip tie is a good tool for this to hold that cap up while we do our work. So I'll zip tie that cap up. There's a special tool to push this piston down too, or two really small 1/4" drive sockets and a big wrench. But don't tell the special tool maker that I did this. You're gonna have to push down pretty hard. That's why I'm blocking the camera, because I'm putting all my weight on there. Pull our special tool, sockets out of there. And we got another circlip, snap ring, lock ring, whatever you want to call it. So get your screwdrivers in there. Gently work that ring out. And now we're ready to pull our shock shaft out. Couple of little taps. Shock shaft, seal head are out. And we're ready to clean our shock body. So we put things in the parts washer and lay them out, and I know you're like, well, I don't want to take apart my shock. Well, take a look. There's not too many parts right there. And I'm not saying we know what we're doing with valving, or we're going to, you know, match what factory connection is going to do, but we can certainly change the oil.